Chinese warship starts live fire drills near Taiwan. U.S. says it is monitoring China's drills around Taiwan closely. China plans $500 million Subsea internet cable to rival U.S. Malaysia says it will protect its rights in the South China Sea. AI's latest creation, the prompt engineer. North Korea claims another test of underwater nuclear drone. Afghan women run radio resumes broadcasts after shutdown. She's taking on the military in Thailand's election.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, April 10th, and here are your top stories. A Chinese warship in seas facing the Taiwan Strait began live fire drills on Saturday as Beijing launched military exercises. It caused a warning against what it considers pro-independence forces in Taiwan. The amphibious landing ship, capable of carrying troops and vehicles, fired multiple artillery rounds in the Loyang Bay area on the coast of Fujian province, about 50 kilometers northwest of Matsu Islands near the mainland that are controlled by Taiwan.
The warship did not sail towards the windswept Matsu Islands, controlled by Taiwan. The area is considered a likely early target for Beijing in the event of a military escalation. China's Eastern Theater Command, one of the 5 commands of the People's Liberation Army that oversees the East China Sea including the Taiwan Strait, said combat readiness patrols would be conducted around Taiwan for 3 days as a serious warning against pro-independence forces in Taiwan and to safeguard China's territorial integrity.
The American Institute in Taiwan, the de facto U.S. embassy in Taiwan, said on Sunday that the United States is monitoring China's drills around Taiwan closely and is comfortable and confident it has sufficient resources and capabilities regionally to ensure peace and stability. Taiwan's defense ministry said on Sunday morning that in the past 24 hours, it has spotted 71 Chinese Air Force aircraft and 9 Navy vessels around Taiwan. A Taiwan security source told Reuters most of Saturday's activities ended by sundown.
131军舰，这里是中华民国海巡署100拐沟艇广播。你现在已经严重破坏地域和平、稳定及安全。
Chinese state media said the aircraft are armed with live weapons. Taiwanese Air Force jets also typically carry live weapons when they scramble to see off Chinese incursions. Late on Saturday, Taiwan's Ocean Affairs Council, which runs the Coast Guard, released footage on its YouTube channel showing one of its ships closely shadowing a Chinese warship, though it did not give an exact location. Despite this activity, civilian flights around Taiwan, including to Kinmen and Matsu, have continued as normal.
Reuters reported that Chinese state-owned telecom firms are developing a $500 million undersea fiber optic internet cable network that will link Asia, the Middle East, and Europe to rival a similar U.S.-backed project known as EMA. The proposed cable would link Hong Kong to China's island province of Hainan before snaking its way to Singapore, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and France. 4 people familiar with the project say China hopes to have the EMA cable online by the end of 2025.
Known as EMA, short for Europe, Middle East, Asia. Its manufacturer is China's Huawei Marine Network Technologies.
The China-led EMA project is intended to directly rival another cable currently being constructed by U.S. firm Subcom LLC called SEAMEWE6, Southeast Asia Middle East Western Europe 6, which will also connect Singapore to France via Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and half a dozen other countries along the route. 2 security analysts told Reuters that it is an early sign that global internet infrastructure, including cables, data centers, and mobile phone networks, could become divided over the next decade.
On Saturday, Malaysia said the government of Malaysia is unequivocally and firmly committed to protecting Malaysia's sovereignty, sovereign rights, and interests in its maritime areas in the South China Sea, after China expressed concern about Malaysian energy projects in a part of the sea that China also claims. Last Tuesday, Malaysia Prime Minister Anwar said he was open to negotiations with China, drawing criticism from the opposition, which said Anwar was risking Malaysia's sovereignty.
Perikatan National Chief Muhyiddin Yassin has slammed Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's remarks about the South China Sea dispute.
Malaysia's foreign ministry said in a Saturday statement that Anwar's comment meant Malaysia would like all issues related to the South China Sea to be resolved in a peaceful manner and without compromising Malaysia's position. China claims sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea, through which about $3 trillion worth of shipborne trade passes annually. China stakes its claim with a reference to a 9-dash line on its maps. However, the Permanent Court of Arbitration ruled in 2016 that the 9-dash line has no legal basis.
Hello, I'm Peggy. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Monday, July 25th, and here are your top stories. Bloomberg reported that Australia is on high alert for foot-and-mouth disease in its cattle herds after traces of
用心生活，享受自由，学习，走自己的路。Funday 英语。
A new career is emerging with the spread of generative AI applications like ChatGPT, prompt engineering, the art of crafting effective instructions for AI models. Because getting generative AI to do what you want is no easy task. Prompt engineering will be critical as prompts must be carefully crafted to accurately capture the intent of the desired code. Startup Anthropic, whose mission is to create reliable, interpretable, and steerable AI systems, is offering a salary of up to $335,000 for an experienced prompt engineer.
What exactly is prompt engineering? As AI systems will take over the role of coding, software engineers can be left to focus on higher-level tasks. The role of software engineers will evolve into one of guiding and overseeing the AI's work, providing input and feedback, and ensuring that the generated code meets the project's requirements. Ultimately, prompt engineering can help improve the usability and reliability of automated code generators, making them more accessible to users who may not have a strong background in programming.
Last Saturday, North Korea claimed it tested a second known type of nuclear-capable underwater attack drone designed to destroy naval vessels and ports. The North's official Korean Central News Agency said the drone, named Hell-2 after a Korean word meaning tsunamis, where tidal waves travel underwater for more than 71 hours before successfully detonating a mock warhead in waters near the eastern port city of Tancheon last Friday. KCNA said the weapon could strike targets 1,000 kilometers away.
North Korean state media last month reported 2 tests of another drone, named Hae-yi, and described the weapon as capable of setting off a radioactive tsunami to destroy enemy vessels and ports. South Korea's military has said it believes North Korean claims about Hae-yi were likely exaggerated or fabricated. North Korea in 2023 alone fired around 30 missiles in 11 different launch events, including an intercontinental ballistic missile that demonstrated potential range to reach the U.S. mainland.
A women-run radio station in northeastern Afghanistan has resumed its broadcast after officials barred it from playing music for a week during the holy month of Ramadan. The local director for information and culture said the station was allowed to resume activities after it had obeyed the laws and regulations of the Islamic Emirate and agreed to stop broadcasting any kind of music. Station head Najia Saroj said after the station gave a commitment to officials, they unlocked the door of the station.
The radio station, Sadai Banawan, which means women's voice in Dari, was launched 10 years ago in Badakhshan province and is Afghanistan's only women-run radio station. 6 of its 8 staff members are women. The Taliban have barred women from most forms of employment and education beyond the 6th grade, including university. There is no official ban on music. During their previous rule in the late 1990s, the Taliban barred most television, radio and newspapers in the country.
Her father was ousted from power by a military coup in 2006. Her aunt's government suffered a similar fate 8 years later. Now, Patonton Shinawatra is set to become the latest member of Thailand's famed political dynasty after father Thaksin and aunt Inluck to take on the military as she bids to become the country's next prime minister. A pre-election opinion poll conducted with 2,000 participants by the National Institute of Development Administration showed strong support for Patonton.
The NIDA survey found Paetongtarn was the most popular choice for Prime Minister, receiving more than double the support of her rivals, the incumbent PM Prayut and Pita Limjaroenrat from the Progressive Forward Party. The vote in May will be Thailand's first since youth-led mass pro-democracy protests in 2020 made unprecedented demands to curb the powers of both the monarchy and the military. And she pledged the party would win big again come May.
Let's take a look at today's vocabulary from the news of the prompt engineer. Number 1, prompt. 提醒某人说话. The program will prompt you to enter data where required. Number 2, craft. 用手精心制作. 技巧、技能、技艺。All the furniture is crafted from natural materials. The chefs learn their craft in top hotels. Number 3, intent, 意图、目的、意向。She denies possessing the drug with intent to supply. Number 4, interpret, 把什么理解为领会。I didn't know whether to interpret her silence as acceptance or refusal. Number 5, steer, 操纵、控制、引导。He managed to steer the conversation away from his divorce. And that's it for today. Be sure to tune in to Funday News on a daily basis and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I will see you next time.